Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to BWTM Television. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments. Let's get into this one. There we go. Lighting. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments. Hopefully now our sound will have improved from the last time. We had some sound issues earlier, but let's get into it. It's been announced 3 hours ago that Manny Pacquiao and Jeff Horn are going to get it on July the 2nd in Brisbane, Australia. If you remember a while back when I saw Jeff Horn fight in Australia, I think, was it Australia? Or was it New Zealand? But I saw him on the undercard. I think it was the undercard of Joseph Parker versus Andrew Ruiz. It was in that fight I said afterwards, they're going to make Jeff Horn versus Manny Pacquiao. And the reasons were quite simple. Jeff Horn is defensively lacking. He's flat-footed. And against a guy like Manny Pacquiao, who's so experienced, a guy like Jeff Horn is tailor-made for Manny Pacquiao. Jeff Horn, unbeaten, carries lots of heart and guts. He's a gutsy type of guy. He'll come and fight and give his all. And he's a big puncher. You see, you be a big puncher at certain levels. But when you're fighting somebody with the skill set of Manny Pacquiao, it's a totally different situation altogether. Pacquiao's not going to stand there and let you hit him. And if I'm right, Jeff Horn got dropped in that fight as well. So I can see why the Pacquiao fight's been made against Jeff Horn. I can only assume that's going to be a pay-per-view event. Initial thoughts are it's great that Australia getting to see Manny Pacquiao. It's another fight for Manny Pacquiao. I just wonder how many more times Manny Pacquiao can get himself into the gym, get himself in shape, get himself fit, go do all the sparring. Manny Pacquiao has been around for so long, and it's not like he's been in easy fights. He's been in wars, you know, the Morales fights, the Barrera fights, what's his name? The Marquez fights, the fights he had with Marquez. You know, Pacquiao's Mosley, Margarito. I mean, Mosley, he's been in so many fights and he's taken so much punishment, Pacquiao, down the years. The Tim Bradley, the 3 fights he had with Tim Bradley. You know, how much more can Pacquiao keep fighting? That's my concern. And I wonder, a guy like Pacquiao, you know, what is his purpose of fighting today? I mean, I've always asked myself the question, with the amount of money Manny Pacquiao's made, he shouldn't still be fighting his age. He should be multi-millionaire over. And in living in the Philippines as well, he should be making lots of money. But there's rumors of him spending and gambling. There are rumors that he wanted to retire after the Bradley fight, but he owed certain money, so he had to come back and fight again. I don't know how all these things are true, and I'm definitely going to try and look into it. But a guy like Manny Pacquiao still fighting. You know, Mayweather, say what you want about Mayweather, but I think Mayweather was trying to encourage Pacquiao to have his own promotional company so he could keep the majority of the money. And Pacquiao signed to Arum, re-signed with Arum. There must have been a reason why that is. I wonder if Pacquiao is actually fighting for, if the money he's fighting for now is to pay back a loan, or the money he's fighting for now is actually pocketing it. Because I don't know. I don't know what to think about this whole Manny Pacquiao thing. But one thing I'm sure of is that you know, he will go down as a great fighter, no doubt. And that's the kind of guy you could call potentially, you know, a great fighter, because he's got a long history of fights where he's won He's lost. He's been knocked out. He's come back. He's won championships. He's fought the best in his era, which is Floyd Mayweather. You know, so I find it, again, I go back to earlier on with Lomachenko and Alexander Usyk, and where the commentators are talking heavily about greatest fighter ever. When you've got guys, and pound for pound, when you've got guys like Manny Pacquiao who've moved up the weight divisions, fought the best guys that are around, the names they fought, you know, and guys who are legitimately considered the best, who considered the best or roundabout the best fighters in the world, consistently lose world titles, come back and win world titles. You know, Pacquiao is, for me, an all-time great. In any era, Pacquiao would have been a great fighter, I believe. And his history, his run, he's proven it time and time and time again against the very best. You know, I just when I watch Pacquiao fight now, as I said, I wonder why he's fighting, and the fact that he said to himself that he was going to retire, and he's had to retract that. And now, when I look at Pacquiao, I just look at a man that's on borrowed time. I look at a man that is going to either get fed to Lomachenko or get fed to, more likely, Terence Crawford. I don't know if they're just delaying the Crawford fight to build Crawford's profile up, so it's a mega cash out fight. Because, you know, that's where I see it with Manny Pacquiao now. I don't, you know, he make as much money as he can, and you know, yeah, ATG radio in the house. Yeah, I don't, not for 1 second do I think that Jeff Horn has a chance in hell against Manny Pacquiao, unless Manny Pacquiao runs into something stupid. But like, so it's not a case of will I find this fight competitive. It's more the case of, from a person looking at Manny Pacquiao today, fully well knowing that when he said he was going to retire, it seemed quite sincere, and for some reason he's back. And I just feel that the Crawford thing is just there looming to just, you know, suck Manny Pacquiao dry. And you know, the sad thing about Manny Pacquiao, I feel, is that he's going to want to be one of these fighters who'll probably end his career broke. So many leeches and bloodsuckers around, you can see it. You know, that I really hope that doesn't happen to Manny Pacquiao, that he's ended his career broke. But he just looks like a fighter that is going to be, that Aram's going to just, like a sponge, just constantly keep ringing and ringing and ringing until he can get the last bit of juice out of him. Now, I don't know if Pacquiao, about his financial situation, whether the things about the loan, whether it's something where Pacquiao's got some sort of addiction, he's a gambler, I don't know. And Bob Arum feeds into that. I really don't know. As for the Khan v Pacquiao story, who knows if that's something that may happen down the line. We don't know. He's got Jeff Horn to deal with at the moment. So, much like Joe Louis coming back against Charles Marciano, all for the money. It is. Well, I mean, let's be honest. Boxing, when people say it's all for the money, well, it is for the money, because that's what prize fighters do. They fight for the money. But when you talk about someone like Manny Pacquiao now, where you think to yourself, well, mate, you fought for the money, you should have quite a bit of money in the bank account. There should be no reason for you to be fighting now. I thought you were like running to be a politician, or want to be president of your country, or prime minister, or whatever it is of your country. You are a high level politician. What the hell are you doing still boxing? You see the difference? Vitaly Klitschko. And you could argue and say that Pacquiao was in more high profile fights than Vitaly Klitschko. You could argue and say that Pacquiao is more of a global superstar than Vitaly Klitschko. One could argue and say that Pacquiao's earned more money than Vitaly Klitschko. But you see the difference. They both went into politics. One said he's retired and he's continuing. He's now the mayor of Kiev. and he's doing what he's doing, and he's not come back. And you've got Pacquiao, who's into politics, but he still has to come back into boxing and box. There's a difference right there, and that's not good. It's not cool. And I don't see this Pacquiao thing ending good. I really don't. Even if he gets past Jeff Horn, which I think he should get past Jeff Horn, you just see that it's just, what is this now? What is the aim? Is it about world titles for Pacquiao now in terms of unifying the division? Is it about taking easy fights now? Is it about making the most money you can out of Pacquiao before throwing him out to the wolves? How's this all go? You know, I don't know. I really don't know where it all goes. You know, and now people like Lomachenko saying, well, you know, Pacquiao, a great fight with Pacquiao and all this stuff. I don't know. I really don't know. I think Pacquiao personally should have, when he fought Mayweather, that should have been his into the sunset. Or maybe, you know, the last fight you get it, the fight he had against Vargas, thank you very much and goodbye. But it just seems that this Pacquiao story is going to go on and on and on. So those are my thoughts about Pacquiao Horn. As for Jeff Horn, it's a great opportunity for Jeff Horn. Listen, Jeff Horn, if he wins this fight, becomes an overnight superstar. Overnight superstar. If he lands the money punch, you know, if he can land the money punch without getting hit himself, you know, but then many have tried and many have failed. You know, his family, I see a photograph of Jeff Horn and his whole family celebrating. I don't know if they're celebrating that fight. It's a very interesting picture that's on the Duco website or Duco Twitter page. So let me see the picture here. I'm going to pick it up on Twitter. Yeah, it's a picture of Jeff Horn. It says, celebrating with Jeff Horn and the two Brisbane proudest men, his dad Jeff Sr. and Pop. Bring on July. And there's a picture of him. I don't know if it's his missus or his mother, and maybe his granddad. I don't know. But it's a member of his family, and Jeff Horn's there smiling. I'm not sure if Jeff Horn is aware of what he's really signed up to. That is a guaranteed, certified beating for Manny Pacquiao. Unless I said Pacquiao walks into something stupid. I can see Jeff Horn coming in straight lines. I can see Pacquiao moving to the sides, putting combinations together and stopping Jeff Horn inside 5 or 6 rounds. You know, walking onto Jeff Horn will walk onto that left hand. It's just a matter of how much of those left hands Jeff Horn will be able to take. But he'll be gutsy. He'll come and he'll give it his all. And it's going to be a fantastic event in Australia. Absolutely. If you've been to Australia, I've never been to Brisbane. I've been to Melbourne. An amazing place. And they are sport hungry. If boxing in Australia was taken more seriously, they've got the facilities to do it. If it was taken more seriously in Australia and taken a lot more, don't know what the word is, the focus was more on that, because they've got other sports, rugby, cricket, you know, they've got their own kind of like, can't remember, their own, I think, Australian rules football as well. And they love the horse racing. They love the horse racing. And they take the whole day. They have a day off in Australia just to go and watch the horse racing. So, you know, this is going to be a huge event. I don't know why in Brisbane. Obviously, I understand maybe because of Jeff Horn and his, maybe I think Horn's from Brisbane. But in terms of, I thought Melbourne would be better. The Melbourne cricket ground would have been a great place. But who knows? I'm waffling now. I don't know if there's anything else I need to talk about. ATG Radio's in the house. Check them out. Follow them on Twitter. And let's see. It's AG Homicide Henry says definitely that 33.3% from Aram must be more than what's on paper. Possibly he should have stopped at Hatton. To be honest, most dominating performance he ever done. Yeah, but if you stopped at Hatton, the Mayweather thing wouldn't have happened, and we all want to see him fight Mayweather. And the other thing was, in terms of Manny Pacquiao, whether you want to go there or not, when Mayweather started talking about the PEDs and Pacquiao and the needles, and he didn't like needles, but he got a tattoo. Mayweather started talking about the PEDs. Whether you want to look it or not, and Alex Ariza, when Alex Ariza left Pacquiao, his body definition looks significantly different, and he hasn't looked the same force as he did, the same terrifying one-punch knockout force that he was. That against Hatton, against other fighters, he didn't look the same fighter. He really didn't. He hasn't looked the same fighter. Pacquiao's looked a shadow of himself. Yes, he's gotten older, but that punch power hasn't been the same. I mean, when he used to hit people with that left hand, that was really, really terrible. A very valid point there. The Mayweather fight came way too late. It did. But having said that, look what Manny Pacquiao's been able to do. He's managed to been able to get knocked out by Marquez, come back, beat up Brandon Rios, win a version of the WBO title again, beat up Tim Bradley. Where is Tim Bradley, by the way? Does anybody know what happened to Tim Bradley? Is he taking up a position like Bernard Hopkins is with Golden Boy? Is he taking up a position with Top Rank? Tim Bradley's like gone missing, like MIA. We're missing in action. Where is Tim Bradley? Maybe he decided to become a fireman. On a side note, with Tim Bradley and Teddy Atlas, I knew that was all going to go all wrong, and I knew that Teddy Atlas would put Tim Bradley more in the fire line to getting knocked out. Oh, Teddy Atlas. Oh dear, one of the most overrated, in my opinion, one of the most overrated trainers in the world. But anyway, I digress. And I'll come back. So yeah, Pacquiao Mayweather had to happen. Does Pacquiao Crawford have to happen? No. Pacquiao Crawford certainly doesn't have to happen, regardless of what you say about Crawford and how good he is. I remember being one of the first people to actually get a full-length interview with Terence Crawford, which is still on this channel. Regardless of what you think about Terence Crawford, he's not a Mayweather, and it's going to take him a while to build that sort of legacy. And I suspect that Crawford, as long as he stays with Bob Arum, won't have that legacy, because he's going to be controlled what to do, when to go, how to go. And this isn't a knock on Bob Arum. I'm just saying that if will Crawford ever take that decision to be an independent and become his own promoter or have his own business and become and cut Arum out and have Crawford promotions? Will that ever happen? Will Crawford ever make that step? It'll be interesting to see how Crawford's career goes from there, and how quickly they decide after Pacquiao fights Horn to bring Crawford into the mix. I think Crawford has got Diaz next, Felix Diaz next. Let's see how Crawford looks there. Let's see what goes on with Pacquiao and Horn. And if he's out in Australia, is there a possibility that Pacquiao's going to go on a world tour? If so, could Pacquiao and Khan be made in the UK? If not, can Pacquiao and Khan be made in the US? And why wasn't it made in the US? Why did they go to Dubai? We discover afterwards that it was a dubious bid by a dubious backer. So we'll have to wait and see. But I've said enough on Pacquiao. Jeff Horn. Tomorrow or today, I'll be talking to Taylor Christie's from Australia. They're a boxing commentator out there, and she'll be giving me her thoughts on Jeff Horn versus Manny Pacquiao. I'm sure the people of Australia are excited to know that Pacquiao is coming on July the 2nd to Brisbane. This has been BWTM. You've been watching. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments. This has been Manny Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn live reaction. I'm out. Have a good evening.